What A'ja Wilson just did was unprecedented. I mean, on so many levels. She's arguably, allegedly, the reason Caitlin Clark was assaulted the entire 2024 basketball season in the W. I mean, what A'ja Wilson just did is really like, there's no coming back from this.
A'ja Wilson's whole positive vibes routine just took a mive hit, and fans are starting to see the cracks. For months she played it cool, acting unbothered, while her fans were dragging Caitlin Clark through the mud over this Nike signature shoe drama. But now the truth is out, and it's hilarious. During A'ja's shoe launch, she revealed that she's been sitting on her own shoe deal with Nike for 2 years. That's right, 2 whole years, while everyone was losing their minds, claiming Caitlin was getting special treatment, screaming that the shoe brand was disrespecting A'ja, the league MVP. And what did Wilson do? She said nothing. She sat back, smiled for the cameras, and let her fans wage war on Caitlin.
Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Now let's rewind for a second. Remember when social media was in flames over Caitlin Clark's signature shoe deal? How dare Caitlin get a shoe before A'ja? They screamed and threw it all. A'ja was right there, letting it play out like she wasn't in the loop. She even fed into the narrative, dropping subtle comments about respect and deserving more on Twitter, giving her fans exactly what they needed to keep up the attacks.
And so for Nike to put her in the position where she then has to go on social media and kind of cool her fans and like urge them to be patient and almost like defend Nike, it's such a disappointment, but it's not a surprise because Nike has done it before.
But here's the reality. A'ja she knew the whole time that her signature shoe was locked and being designed, polished, and prepped for release. She knew she was getting her flowers, her bag, her moment, and she still let the world believe Nike had overlooked her. For Caitlin, that's not being unbothered, that's calculated. Wilson's approach allowed Clark, a rookie at the time, to become the scapegoat, facing intense online backlash, while Wilson benefited from the sympathy. This controversy highlighted the relentless rivalry and how far Wilson's fanbase was willing to go.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low top shoe. I play in a low top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over and something that looks good. That's so key to me.
Let's call it what it is. A'ja let Caitlin Clark become the scapegoat so she could soak up the sympathy. She let Clark, a rookie at that time, take hit after hit online, all while she watched, and for what? For a few more retweets for her fan base to scream louder. Because let's be honest, Wilson's fans have been on a mission to drag Caitlin from the second she stepped into the WNBA, and this shoe controversy, that was their golden ticket.
A'ja Wilson, who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player, who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. What?
But now the truth is out, and suddenly all those passionate A'ja defenders have gone quiet. Funny how that works. It turns out the disrespect wasn't coming from Nike, it was coming from A'ja and the people who let this lie spiral out of control. Caitlin Clark was just minding her business, trying to elevate the game, while A'ja was playing victim with the narrative. Oh, but here's the real question. If you knew you already had your flowers, the shoe deal, the brand backing, the legacy cemented, why sit back and let your own fans wage war on a rookie? Why let them act like you were some overlooked underdog when behind the scenes you were already sitting on a shoe? All it would have taken was a quick tweet, a casual "don't worry, my show's coming," and all that noise would have stopped. But she didn't. She let it build. She let Caitlin Clark's name get dragged through the mud like she was some sneaker stealing villain. And now suddenly the truth's out, and all those same people who were foaming at the mouth, screaming about unfair treatment, are backtracking like they didn't spend months launching attacks.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assists as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted, she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad. And all the while, A'ja Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs. Nah, she didn't do it.
But let's be real, this is about more than shoes. This is about how Caitlin Clark has been treated since the second she stepped into the WNBA. It's like she walked into a room and an STLY had a target on her back. She wasn't celebrated, she was resented. Why? Because she brought millions of new fans, because she made people who never cared about the league suddenly pay attention, because Nike saw her talent and the numbers and said, yeah, this is the future. Caitlin didn't take anyone's spot, she didn't Cheat the system. She earned that shoe deal the same way she earned her place in the WNBA, by being better than everyone else.
How could they give Caitlyn a shoe before they give Asia one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat Asia like this? Two-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this. You want to know?
And while she was getting shoved on the court, fouled like it was WWE, and slandered online, A'ja Wilson had the power to calm it all down, but she didn't. She stayed silent, and that silence, it said everything. It said, I see what's happening and I'm fine with it, because if the roles were reversed, if Caitlin Clark's fans were attacking A'ja Wilson, you'd be hearing about it on every sports network, think pieces, social media outrage, and ESPN hot takes will be trending on Twitter. You know the drill. But when it's Caitlin's silence, and it's not just Wilson, look at Nike. They rolled out a campaign celebrating their female athletes during the Super Bowl, a huge win, but the day after, when they released another commercial, somehow Caitlin Clark, the face of women's basketball, the player responsible for the WNBA's record viewership, wasn't in it.
You want to know what I'm selling? I'm selling greatness! A'ja Wilson, 3-time MVP. We got Jordan Childs, we got Juju Watkins, we got Sha'Carri Richardson, and we got Arena Sabalenka.
Champion.
Hustling is not easy, but I love it. Sabrina, I know you want a tea. Thinking about it? You're thinking about it. They're gonna go fast, kind of like Sha'Carri. I accept card. Where's the card? Come on.
Oh wait, but what's that box?
These don't come out till March. They may or may not be shirts, but if I tell you, I'm gonna have to kill you. Oh, you want one of these? Nike.com. Who wants a t-shirt?
They threw in a last-minute voiceover like we wouldn't notice, but we did. We saw it. That wasn't in sight, that was intentional. That was Nike saying, yeah, we like the money she brings in, but we don't want her in the photo. It's baffling. How does this happen to a player who has transformed the WNBA, the most popular female athlete in America, drawing NBA-level viewership to WNBA games? She's sidelined simply because the league, the veterans, the old guard, don't want her. They'll gladly take the profit she generates but refuse to fully embrace her. Instead of celebrating Caitlin Clark, they merely tolerate her, using her success without standing up for her when she's under attack, treating her like an outsider despite everything she's earned.
Favorite thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
How does this happen? How does the player who's literally transformed the WNBA, the most popular female athlete in all of America, the one whose games are drawing NBA-level numbers, get sidelined? Simple because the league, the veterans, the old guard, they don't want her. They'll take the profits she brings, but they won't embrace her. Instead of celebrating Caitlin Clark, they tolerate her. They use her success but won't protect her when she's being attacked. They treat her like an outsider, as if she hasn't earned every bit of success.
Not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm gonna make today about Nike, but it looks like Nike is definitely the star of the day. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlyn, them putting Caitlyn in, them fixing the commercial, them dropping Asia's shoe. Now, come to find out, A'ja Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes. Oh my goodness. These women was lying. Oh God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over A'ja.
A'ja Wilson's silence is just part of the problem. She didn't need to tweet anything nasty. She didn't need to say Caitlin's name. All she had to do was sit back, let her fans do the dirty work, and enjoy the show. And it worked until the truth came out during her shoe release. But here's the thing, Caitlin's still here. She's still breaking records, still selling out arenas, still dominating the headlines. The WNBA can try to push her aside all they want, but the fans know, the sponsors know, and deep down even the haters know Caitlin Clark is the future. But the real damage isn't to Caitlin. She's built for this. It's the league that's suffering. You can't treat your biggest star like a problem and expect to grow. Every shove, every snub, every fake controversy, they all make the WNBA look small, insecure, and prepared for what Caitlin Clark is bringing. The sales don't lie, the crowds don't lie, the viewership don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the biggest thing to ever happen to the WNBA, and the way she's being treated is a disgrace. So yes, A'ja got her shoe, good for her. But the months of false outrage, relentless attacks on Caitlin, and the lies that fueled them revealed something ugly. For all the talk about growing the game, some so-called leaders seem more interested in protecting their egos than embracing the future. Caitlin Clark is that future, whether they like it or not. She's here to stay. And to A'ja Wilson, Congratulations on the shoes, but next time, consider using your voice for more than just sneaker launches.
Cheryl Swoops made news. Now, she made news last week when she sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. She jumped all in my ass because I sat up there and said, hey, how you going to ignore Caitlin Clark? You know what she brings to the table. How you just going to ignore her? That's not an accident. Cheryl Swoops is a champion.
A'ja Wilson is out here celebrating her signature shoe deal, showing off the new A1 sneaker like it's the WNBA championship trophy. And honestly, she should be proud. A signature shoe is a huge accomplishment for any athlete, especially in women's basketball. But while A'ja is busy posing for photos and enjoying the spotlight, she might not realize she's also unintentionally highlighted the double standard that's loomed over the league since Caitlin Clark's arrival.
Backlash on this was quite significant. Everybody was calling out, why are you not marketing your most marketable player? And I cannot disagree, because Nike, why? Your stock is going down. Do you realize that Caitlin Clark's jersey sold out right after she was drafted, with an increase in over 1,000% reported for the Indiana Fever?
A'ja Wilson is proudly celebrating her signature shoe deal, showing off the new A1 sneaker like it's the WNBA trophy. And she should be proud. A signature shoe is a major accomplishment for any athlete, especially in women's basketball. But while A'ja is enjoying the spotlight, she's also unintentionally highlighted the double standard that has hovered over the league since Caitlin Clark arrived. Because let's be honest, imagine if Caitlin Clark had been the first to get a signature shoe. Picture this, Clark signs a massive Nike deal, the Caitlin one is unveiled, and the internet explodes. The same people now showering A'ja with love would suddenly have endless complaints. She hasn't earned it, they'd say. What about the veterans? They'd cry. And leading the charge? Cheryl Swoops, of course. That's exactly what happened months ago. I feel so lucky to be a part of the Nike basketball family for more than 30 years now, and I love to see how the brand continues to champion women's basketball and athletes who play it. I didn't text A'ja. I didn't call A'ja. I'm talking like you're not here right now. Right on cue, there's Swoops. The moment A'ja's shoe dropped, Swoops was front and center, pom-poms in hand, cheering like it was a college pep rally. The same Cheryl Swoops who can't seem to go a week without taking a backhanded swipe at Caitlin Clark. Funny, right? When it's Wilson, it's all love. But when it's Clark breaking records, carrying the league, and earning every deal, Swoops suddenly becomes the WNBA's gatekeeper, reminding everyone how different things were in her day. Clark's stats? 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds. Great numbers, but to me, that's not dominating. If she were putting up A'ja's numbers, then sure, that's dominating. No one's taking anything away from Wilson. She's a 3-time MVP, a champion, and deserves this moment. But the hypocrisy is glaring. When Caitlin Clark is in the spotlight, it's called favoritism. When A'ja is, it's hard work paying off. Make it make sense. And it's not just the shoe. This pattern started from day one. Caitlin didn't get a warm welcome to the league. She got elbows, cheap fouls, and petty digs. Social media mobs made her the target of every frustration fans had with the WNBA's growth. You'd think a player bringing millions of new fans, boosting ticket sales, and breaking viewership records would be celebrated. But no, she's treated like an outsider. I feel like I'm getting hammered. And A'ja? She's part of that old guard now, whether she admits it or not. She's in the circle that sees Caitlin revolutionizing the league and does everything to downplay it. Sometimes it's passive-aggressive comments, shady tweets, or silence while others do the dirty work. They fought for respect for women's basketball, but now it feels like a junior high locker room with petty antics on the court. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark doesn't need their approval. She has the fans, the viewership, the records, and her own shoe line on the way. She's taken hits from every angle without stooping to their level. Meanwhile, Wilson is celebrating her A1 sneaker. Good for her, she earned it. But let's not ignore that her rise came with the league's protection, something Caitlin never got. What young girl wants to grow up playing in a league where you're targeted like that? How can you demand respect for women's sports when the league itself acts like a high school drama? And let's not overlook the Aces' shaky future. Kelsey Plum, now in LA, is throwing shade. Chelsea Gray isn't the same post-injury. Sydney Colson, the locker room glue, just joined the Fever. While Wilson's fans blame Indiana for everything, the Fever are building a championship squad. Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Dawana Borna, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and a front office making moves all off-season. The WNBA is changing, and the veterans know it. Caitlin Clark isn't just the future, she's the present. That's why billboards are going up, ticket prices are soaring, and networks are scrambling for broadcast rights. She's not just a player, she's a movement. The league can either embrace it or get left behind. I'm trying not to lose it, but I can't take much more. I said another bomb would drop, and here it is. Stephanie White isn't playing fair. She's on a mission. So while Aisha enjoys her sneaker launch and Swoops tweets her congrats, don't be surprised when the player they've tried to tear down is holding the trophy at season's end. Caitlin Clark isn't just coming for her own shoe.